Hi, and welcome back to Rowdy Sports. This is Peach. We're doing a match recap of Day 3 of the World Cup. Qatar versus Switzerland, Brazil versus Morocco, Haiti versus Scotland, and Australia versus Turkey. Let's start with the first game of the day, which was Qatar versus Switzerland. Breel Embolo opening up the score sheet with a pen in the 17th minute. The pen was definitely a penalty. It really wasn't much to argue about. Breel Embolo buries it without really breaking a sweat in the first half. Then the Swiss set up to not let Qatar do anything for the rest of the game. But they failed at that. They ended up giving up one goal in the dying minutes of the match. Ended up being an own goal. Honestly, this was a pretty disappointing performance by the Swiss. If you were watching the game, you wanted more constantly. It just felt like they were doing a lot of side passing and going backwards, trying to hold up play, and it didn't pay off because they were parking that bus, hoping to get away with a 1-1, it looked like. My player of the match has to go to Akram Afif. He played 90% of the game and was ready to die on that field. The goal came in the after the 90th minute of the match where he was already off, but by that time he had injected so much energy into his side that you could see them ready to die for that ball no matter what happened on the field. There was no player on the field with the same amount of energy as him on either side. He was literally lightning fast, trying to win every single duel, fighting back for every ball, playing every ball forward. He was the danger man on the field for both teams, period. Moving on to Brazil versus Morocco. This is a shocking result. 1-1. The first goal that went in, the pass by Brahim Diaz to split the defenders to Sabarini was a really, really great through ball. I mean, it was laid up on a plate for Sabarini. The Brahim Diaz, the Real Madrid's second player, a squad player, really setting up that goal for and setting up Morocco for success. And they did their best to keep Brazil at bay. And I think that there were some reasons that Brazil weren't successful, mainly one player in the midfield who just kept giving away the ball, who lost most of his challenges, was making poor passes, wasn't tracking back. And when he was tracking back, he would just lose the ball. It might turn out to be the stinker of the tournament. We'll get into that in a moment. But let's talk about Vini Jr.'s goal. Bruno Guimaraes puts Vini Jr. in on the left side. Vini cuts back in and smashes it, lightning bolt into the top corner, into the side wall of the net. It was a very good goal. If they could have produced more of that in this match, they would have been incredibly more successful. But, Morocco's defense, especially Hakimi, shut down Brazil very well. Let's talk about my stinker, Lucas Paqueta. Wow. I mean, he should not play any more of the group matches until he can figure out how to play with this Brazil squad. He was all over the place and not in a good way. He was all over the place giving the ball away. In the midfield, on the corners, in the back line. He was kind of a nightmare to watch for this team. And I want to say, I don't think it was his fault particularly for the goal, but, you can fault him for, the first 45 minutes of the match of just doing nothing but giving the ball away. And it was clear in the 30th minute for me, I was like, this guy needs to get hooked. He should have been, Don Carlo should have hooked Paqueta in the beginning of that match. And honestly, and I'm not the manager, obviously, but if I were, he would not see the field again. I'd be playing players like Fabinho over him, who's very old. I'd be playing anybody but him. I would be looking for a million other ways to play outside of him. My player of the match for this has got to be Achraf Hakimi. He really shut down Vini for a majority of that game, and he was a battle on that field. No matter where he was fighting for the ball. He was taking shots. He was playing players through. He was taking every 50-50. He was making every challenge look like nothing. He was very good on the field. It's clear why PSG do not want to sell him or see him move to another club ever. He is an incredible player. Moving on to Haiti versus Scotland. And Scotland win this one. Leaders of their group. Great goal from John McGinn. It doesn't matter how it goes in. It just matters that it went in, Lottie. It went in. And Scotland are the leaders of their group. Scotland did a lot to neutralize the attack yesterday, which was really their goal. They neutralized Haiti so they couldn't play through. Haiti did look like they were going to have some chances that were going to be pretty impressive, but ultimately it came down to the one goal that John McGinn scored, and they really just neutralized the Haiti attack and defense. They just did whatever they could to stop them from playing, and that's really what their goal was. Get a goal, park the bus, and win. And they did that. The Scots were impressive all game. If I'm giving a man of the match out, it's got to be Ryan Christie for taking that many fouls. He got fouled up and down that field nonstop. Either way, he put in a shift and didn't let the Scots down. People are going to say McTominay had a great game. I don't think so. He had one shot on goal, and he was in the midfield a lot, picking up loose balls and trying to make interceptions. But he really didn't have that much influence. I think it was really Christie and John McGinn that did most of the work here to secure this win. Moving on to Australia versus Turkey, and I got to be honest, I was shocked. I was blown away that Australia put it to Turkey like nobody's business. The first goal that went in was good, but the second goal was great. Connor Metcalf from outside the box, very, very adventurous shot. Turkey has got to be, those players and that manager have got to be furious. They are definitely the better of the teams in that group, and they really, really, really let down their country. I got to say, though, the most impressive performance on the field has got to be Patrick Beach, who replaced Matt Ryan, the captain of Australia, in the starting lineup. He might, 8 saves, great goalkeeper, good distribution, didn't make any errors, and he was just a shot stopper. 8 saves is as good as 2 goals, you know what I'm saying? It's true to nature. Nothing got past him, kept a clean sheet. Dude, the manager of Australia has got to be, patting himself on the back here for making a substitution or making a change like that, especially when it's your captain, and then that player playing out of his mind. Didn't let a single thing past him. He was ready to die on that field in front of that ball. He wasn't going to let any goal go in. And my stinker of that game has got to be Ard Guler. For a player that has so much, hype surrounding him, he really, really was having a shocker yesterday. Well, he had, 2 shots on goal. Everything else, skied it. He was shooting into the crowd. He got to be ashamed of himself for that performance. He is what's considered the leader of that team. Hakim Kalantoglu maybe also feels probably pretty horrible, but man, Ard Guler had a real stinker yesterday. Well, that's it. This is Rowdy Sports. Thank you for the watch, follow, like, and subscribe. That was match day 3 review of the World Cup. Stay tuned for match day 4 review of the World Cup and match previews. Yeah!